Hello everyone and welcome back to the stream. I am Pastor CJ Kent and this is of course EVE Online. Once again, as soon as we can actually get it to pop up here. There you go. Come on. It takes a minute pretty much every time. Sometimes it's like right on, but sometimes it just it just takes forever. I don't know. But we're gonna press on. Obviously, we are still working on the Winter Nexus stuff. There we go. There it is, finally. Man, that took forever. We have made a little bit more progress on the rewards track. I'll show you that here real quick, just so you can see where we are at. I was doing my dailies earlier and did a little bit of the exploration content. So instead of being at 375, we're now at 400, so just 25 points ahead of where we were end of last night. And we've got the ice mining ship for another couple days. I mean, we have the ship forever, but the skills and necessary to pilot it, as an alpha, we only have access to that for about 2 more days, I think. 2.5, something like that. So let's get out there and use this while we've got it. Now, earlier when I was looking in system, I didn't see any ice fields. I don't know if that meant they were just all burned through by other people already. But yeah, we do have one now. So let's go ahead and head that direction. And we shouldn't need locations for tonight. Alright, we've entered a mining site, so that's 5 points right there. Huzzah. Let's activate the gates. And we need to mine 7 units of ice. Alright, looks like we are on our own here in the ice fields for now. So let's find us the closest asteroid that we can and start approaching. Now, I have made a couple modifications to the ship from last night. First of all, we talked about adding a tractor beam so I could pick up Rex, and we've done that. We have a small tractor beam 1, so that's going to help us pull in the Rex to salvage when we have belt rats. But in order to make that fit, we actually had to swap out our micro warp drive for a compact afterburner, the YS8 compact 1MN. You know, the that one. So yeah, that's what we had to do to make it work. Everything else was pretty much just, we took out the festival launcher, put in the tractor beam, and then just swapped that prop unit. Everything else on the ship is exactly the same, so there you go. That's kind of the setup for tonight. Hopefully we'll actually get some belt rats so I can use the tractor beam. Nothing in the field right now as far as salvage to grab, but that is a-okay. Now the targeting range on this is still a limiting factor. But the tractor beam only goes up to 20 anyway, 20 kilometers. So maximum targeting range is 23 kilometers. Cool. So anything that we can actually target, we can tractor. Well, no, anything that we could tractor, we'll be able to target. So no big deal there. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, so right now we're just pulling in ice quick as we can. Same as last night. Really just trying to rake in those points for the event. While we're here, let me go ahead and target our station there. So we have a quick warp out if we need it. Looks like there are some combat vessels out there taking part in the that side of the event. We've got event sites appearing and disappearing on the overview and in the probe scanner. But yeah, we're doing good, looking good. I do notice there are no non-scanned cosmic signatures at the moment, so that's a pretty good indication right there that the those data sites are being hunted down. Which makes sense. A lot of people do the exploration content, that's kind of their thing. And so it's a easy transition. Like I said, I picked up some of those earlier today. Which you'll notice this no longer says to open one of the data cans, it literally just says exploration site entered. So this has come full circle because it's another one of the repeatable quest lines that is part of the event. But yeah, tonight the only one that we're particularly worried about is the ice mining. Like I said, we popped an expert system to be able to use this ship and the ice mining equipment on it, so we're going to get as much use out of it as we possibly can. We're really just trying to get as close to the end of the event track there as possible. Oh, so interesting note, last night one of the viewers had asked me about the salvage packages that we get from turning in these ice chunks and what they contain. Apparently the overseer's effects, the value on that adds up. I actually sold off all the ones that I managed to get last night and over the course of yesterday and made about 48 million ISK, plus a little bit of change just from selling off the effects. So yeah, that almost completely pays for my ice mining setup just in one run, and obviously like we're going to use it more than that. So yeah, I was very happy with that. Very surprised that we got that level of income from those packages. One of them actually contained a 13th tier overseer's effects, which I think was probably the big factor there as far as the value in those. So that's probably a relatively rare pull from the green salvage packages, but I was glad that I got it. So yeah, my ISK wallet is a lot closer to where it was before I bought this ice setup, which is really good. But yeah, it's nice to know that even doing the event sites that we're still able to pull some decent income from that. You can also find those in the what am I trying to say? In the data sites. If you go in and hack the data sites, you can also find the overseer's effects in there. So yeah, there's definitely some monetary value to be had. Now, if you are unfamiliar with those are things you want to sell at DED facilities, because that's where the NPC buy orders for those things are going to be. That's where you're going to get the best value for them. If you don't want to make the trip to a DED facility because you just don't have one close by or whatever, most of the trade hubs will have people buying them for a little bit less money, and then they just transport them to a DED facility themselves. You can do that if you want, but really if you want that full value, just find yourself a DED facility there, scattered throughout the cluster, and usually not too far away from anyone. I happen to actually live in one, so that was fantastic. I didn't have to go anywhere to sell those. Yeah, and so that worked out, but that's kind of the story with that. Obviously, we got some salvage. None of it was blue salvage, just the regular stuff. And one of the exploration sites I did earlier today actually had snowballs in it. So if you were wondering how to get your hands on snowballs, besides the crates that you get for signing in, apparently you can also get them from the exploration sites. I didn't know that before today, but there you go. Yeah, there's a mining fleet out right now, it looks like. Wait, what? Sorry, I'm just... Okay. I guess someone had the same idea. There's an orca on field named Free Willy, and one of my corp mates has an orca also named Free Willy, so I was like, wait, what? But I guess great minds think alike. Two people with the same ship name. I mean, it's an orca, so like I get it. I get why that would happen. But just funny. Funny when that kind of stuff happens. Oh, okay, well that's our 7. But we need to keep going. Go ahead and approach this guy. Lock on. We'll go ahead and claim this while we're cruising here. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. And hit the stop button. Get our defensive measures set back up. And we're good to go. Now, if you weren't with me last night, I'll just go ahead and tell you, even though it says to just do 7, we're going to be exchanging 4 loads of ice with the ice processor. And they take 7 units is 1 load. So this can hold a total of 19. I like to go ahead and get all 19 on the first run. And then that helps me get up to 14 a lot quicker on the second run. And that hits all 4 of our loads, and that's the final thing we need to do before the quest loops and goes back to the enter ice mining site prompt that it started with. And every time it loops, it's a total of 30 points for all the different triggers you hit along the way, so helps us move up the ladder pretty quick, actually. I started at 200 something last night, and we're already up to 400 as of the beginning of tonight, so I expect we'll probably be able to get to 650, maybe 700 potentially, something like that, by the end of tonight, at least hopefully, especially now that we kind of have the groove of the whole thing down pat. But yeah, there's an orca, 2 hulks, a macronal, and a venture. No, that's a vulture, excuse me. I thought it was a venture for some reason. But yeah, a decent little ore mining fleet hanging out in system right now. Gotta love that. We got some chatter in local. I'm guessing that's the mining fleet. Just like a friendly orca booster, and then whoever wants to mine with them. And it looks like someone just logged, which they said they were going to do in local, so that makes sense. Yeah, not saying I'm like super duper comfortable just chilling. I'm gonna keep doing my D-scan and watching local and the overview and all that, but I feel a little bit more comfortable tonight than we did last night as far as the whole mining thing, just because it seems like most of the people that are in system right now are more of the friendly sort, which I like. Not that they weren't last night, but I don't know, sometimes you run into unfriendly people. Unfortunate, but yeah, it does happen. But yeah, just gonna sit here, grind away at the ice. We've got 9 more units before we have a full bay, and we can go turn some into the processor. And really just waiting for that to fill up, and maybe some belt rats will spawn in while we're doing that. That would be cool. Love to use the new tractor beam. I think it's going to be... I mean, I've used them before, so I know it's fun to just like pull a wreck over and then you can loot it and salvage it without having to move at all. Or having to do very minimal movement, depending on how far away you manage to kill them. But, yeah. Should be good. Yeah, it seems like every time we managed to kill a belt rat last night, it was like within 16 kilometers or so. Which is well within the range of our new tractor beam and our ship's targeting computer, so... that should be perfect. The salvager, on the other hand, only goes out to 5k. So being able to pull stuff closer is going to be a big benefit. Not that the stuff is like super duper salvage or valuable, but I don't know. It's just nice to... it feels nice to like clean up all of that. That makes sense. All right, 3 more pieces before we are technically at a full 2 loads. But like I said, we're going to go to 19 for this first batch. Just so the second run is a little bit quicker. I know it doesn't save any time. It's the same amount of time. That's just the way I like to do it, so. But yeah, just sitting, enjoying some chill vibes music. I actually forgot to turn this on last night until we were probably like 10 or 15 minutes into the stream. So it was very quiet because I have the game music turned off to avoid copyright strikes and that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know, I just didn't think about it for some reason, and then it just sort of hit me. I was like, oh man, I don't even have the music on. So yeah, we managed to get that turned on first thing today, so that's good. Actually seems a little bit loud, honestly. See if we can turn that down slightly. That's better. Want like a subtle background. So yeah, that's more like it. Perfect. So yeah, if you guys weren't with me last night, I don't know if you all have had a chance to look at the event track and the rewards that come with it. So far we've managed to get ourselves an Enforcer, Aurora Universalis skin, 10,000 skill points, the Dark Amethyst Matte, limited color that you can use with the skin sequencing, a Yule Festival booster crate, and a Mastodon Aurora Universalis skin. So that's very cool. Our very next prize is one of the ones that we are definitely trying to get, 25 Plex. These are worth a little bit over 6 million ISK each right now. So 25 of them would be like 150 million ISK, if I'm doing the math correctly in my head. So yeah, that's a big benefit right there. And then of course we have the True Crystallos Gloss for skin sequencing, an Ice Storm Filaments crate. I literally haven't used the filaments yet. Let me know in the chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube, in the comments, if you actually have been using the filaments. The ice storms seem like they're kind of everywhere, so I haven't needed one yet. But yeah, I've just sort of been holding on to the filaments in case. Then after that we have 15,000 skill points, which is it's not like seemingly endless skill points, but it's still kind of a lot. And we get a Crane Aurora Universalis skin, Crystal Glaze Gloss Limited, 3 of those, a Yule Festival Brain Freeze crate, a Nomad Aurora Universalis skin, then a Steel Bauble Metallic Limited matte for skin sequencing, 25,000 skill points. See, this is where it starts to get good. A Nyx Aurora Universalis skin, the Cross Drift pattern for skin sequencing, and then finally, the very end of this track, 75 plex. So yeah, if you manage to get this and you get the 25 plex, that's 100 plex total that you can get for running the stuff, the quests from this event. Which is kind of crazy, because like I said, they're about 6 million-ish each right now. So that's 600 million ISK in like reward for just doing the event, which is awesome. Alternatively, if you have enough plex, you can put those together like I'm going to do and get a one of the Omega packages from the New Eden store. That is my plan. I want the 100 plex as quick as I can get it, so I can turn it in for the 30 days of Omega, plus like some skins and stuff is part of the package. But that's a 300 plex package right now, normally 500. So yeah, that's what we're after. It'd literally be my very first full month of Omega on this character. So yeah, I am definitely excited to get to that point, finish this thing up, and declare Winter Nexus has been won. But it'll take a minute to get there, so. Alright, 3 more units of ice before we have a full load, and we can offload with the ice processor. Oh, yes. I didn't mention this in the beginning, but we are also fundraising right now as part of the Twitch initiative for December. I think that's still going on for about 3 more days. But our fundraising will continue until it's fulfilled, so that will just be up there. But it's for Answers in Genesis. Really cool organization. They basically employ scientists and look at the different evidences for the biblical history, and show that the science actually is proving the Bible rather than disproving the Bible. It's a very cool organization, a group that I followed for a really long time, and I'm happy to be supporting them now. So if you feel like contributing to that and you have the resources to do so, definitely go ahead and hit the donate button. If not, don't worry. They also take prayer, so if you want to shoot a prayer their way, that would be a great thing too. Hey, so Caseyador? I wish it was for making ice cream. We actually sell it to the ice processor down over here. It's basically an orca, and they give you green salvage packages in exchange for 7 units of the faded volatile ice. There's a couple other ice varieties that appear in, like, a different one appears in low sec and a different one appears in null sec, and I assume the packages are different colors and you get better loot from them for running the events in those areas. But yeah, we're just chilling in high sec, so that's where we're turning our stuff in. Each of the ice mining sites will have one of these ice processors in them. So if you're able to find the ice, you're able to find the ice processor. Yep, and the packages contain some of the salvage components you can use for rig rig manufacturing, and the overseer's effects in some of them as well, which apparently have a decent ISK value, which I didn't realize until earlier today. Nice. Yeah, the overseer's effects that I sold this morning was almost, it was like 48 million. And that's really just from running the ice site for my stream last night. That was for about 3 hours, and then maybe like an hour the day before. Okay, so we are full up. Let's head over to the ice processor. Yeah, it's really not bad. I actually pretty much paid for this whole setup. I'm using the expert system we got as part of the login rewards for the event. So this is my first, the event is my first experience with the Endurance. Pretty cool little ship. No, there's things you can do as an alpha even without using the expert system if you wanted to. There's the big thing for alphas would be the exploration sites. So you run them just like normal. They aren't spawning in wormholes is what I understand, but any of the other kinds of space you can find them. And it's just data containers. You hack them as normal. They're actually a lot easier than what I've come to expect from doing wormholing and stuff. So very beginner friendly on those. The hardest part is just the competition with other capsuleers. A lot of people go after those, and they're pretty quick. So sometimes you'll be scanning one down and it'll just disappear off your map. Sucks, but you just go after the next one. What can you do? Oh, but yeah, they did provide that expert system also, so you can get in on the ice mining bit of it. It lasts for about 4 days, lets you use this, the Endurance, the Prospect, and I think it says the Venture also, not that you wouldn't have the ability to use that, but and it does give you the skills to use the ice mining laser and stuff for those 4 days. So it's pretty cool. Now there's also a combat element, which they had said Tech 2 battlecruiser or better is what's required to run those. I have seen some people on DScan using cruisers, I suspect, for the event. I'm sure it's very specific setups that can do that, so if you're wanting to run the combat sites, definitely do your research and see what you can use to do those. But yeah, if you're far along enough as an alpha, you could probably run the combat sites too. I'm not there yet with the combat, so I'm avoiding most of that. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. It looks like the wormholes are pretty much void of any of this particular event stuff, which is interesting. For the Crimson Harvest one, they didn't do that. They still spawned in wormholes. So I don't know what the devs' decision was about there, if they just preferred to keep it in known space for some reason, but yeah, unfortunately no wormhole love for this particular event. Normally I do wormhole exploration, so I have metamorphosis set up with the sisters probes and you know, the whole shebang, and I'll find a wormhole that's got some time left on it, do a dive, and kind of like follow the chain as far as I can, or as long as I have time in the stream, and that's my usual gig. So this is a nice change of pace. I do enjoy mining. I don't do it on stream very often, but since it's an event, I figured it made sense. Yeah, and then occasionally I run missions as well. I've done the Sisters of Eve epic arc on here a couple times now. So I've got like 85 days or something left before I can do it again. And occasionally I'll just like do some mission grinding for standings and whatnot. But I don't do that super often. But yeah, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. Like, obviously, I've done other things. I've run some Abyssals on stream. I've done some planetary interaction, but I don't think I did any of that on stream, really. I think I've talked a little bit about it. But as a period when I only had Omega for like 7 days, so there wasn't much that I could do with it, although I enjoyed what I managed to squeeze in that amount of time. Yeah, little things here and there. The one thing I haven't really done much of anything with is like faction warfare, which I have it in the back of my mind to try eventually. I just don't do a lot of PvP typically, so I haven't convinced myself to go try it yet. But I hear it's fun. What about you? What do you like to do? Do you just do the wormhole exploration stuff? Or you're living out there? Or do you like run the combat sites or? Okay. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, if I can find one in system or like in the next system over, sometimes I'll pop in and I'll do some mining in there, but I don't do it very often right now, unfortunately. C4 though, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, you are a bit limited on your options as far as being an alpha, unfortunately, but there's if you're creative, you can find little loopholes and stuff. For a while, my corporation had a moon mining setup, so they would do fleet mining when the belts were created for that. I actually made myself an Apocalypse as a mining ship to use for those. The cargo space is tiny though, so like obviously you need the compression to make it worthwhile. But yeah, it was really fun to run in that. Omega is very nice for ratting. Go C3. Yes. Right now I am an alpha clone. Like I said, the only reason I can use this Tech 2 ship is because of the expert system that came with the login rewards. So I don't usually use these, but I'm making use of this one because I really want to get to the end of the rewards track for this event, and I think this is probably going to be one of the fastest and easiest ways to accomplish that. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do wormhole ratting, I don't think you could. I think there's ships that alphas can use to do it successfully. But yeah, you'd have to have like exactly the right skills and exactly the right setup, so it can be iffy. Yeah. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I looked at a couple different battleship setups, and it seems like the Apocalypse is one of the better options for yield. If you want like a little bit more cargo or shields or like drone capacity or whatever, the Roke is actually a good choice too. And then the Apocalypse Navy issue is even better than the regular Apocalypse, so something to look at if you want to like absolutely go nuts with it. But it's kind of a lot of ISK to risk, especially if you're doing wormhole mining. Yeah, I mean, it does pretty good, honestly. Yeah, I honestly like the look of the Rogue, so I almost went that direction, but I started a Amar, and I was kind of keeping with a bit of an Amar purist doctrine as much as I can. Plus, like, I'm nowhere near the skills to fly a Rogue, and I can fly an Apocalypse right now, so kind of makes a difference. I mean, eventually I'll probably train the Caldari stuff because I'd like to get into some of the Garista ships. But that's definitely a ways off for me, so. Not right now, unfortunately. Yeah, I actually haven't followed much of the laser turret stuff at all. I use mostly drones and missiles. And like I'm just starting to train into some of the autocannon stuff. But yeah, I haven't really trained any laser skills since like I was doing the career missions at the very beginning. Yeah, I do remember the pulses are a little bit better for your close range stuff, and then the beams are a little bit more longer range, but yeah, the tracking's not as good on them. Yeah. Eventually I'll train those up too. Especially doing the wormhole stuff, it seems prudent to maybe go with lasers, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I mean, that's smart though. If you can slow them down enough, then you don't need to worry about your turret tracking speeds quite so much. Alright, now let's head over to the processor because we have our second load complete and turn that off for the time being. And hit that afterburner so we can get there just a little bit faster. I have never mined Pockhaven, so I mean, props to the people that do it. I've always been nervous to try that myself. Okay, so we can now claim our reward, and I believe it circles back. Yes, mining site entered, so let's dock up. Drop off our salvage packages, and then we can circle back and do the whole thing again. That's decor. Okay. Dang. Okay. That is pretty good. What do you usually mine when you do that there?
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Alright, let's offload this and we'll head back out. Yeah, I mean, 5 million per load is really good, especially for the Venture moving as fast as it does. Definitely a good option.
Active.
Are there like special resources in Pockhaven, or is it the normal wormhole stuff? Let's activate this and claim that.
Active.
And we can approach this. Alright, should be able to lock the targets. Probably drop that. Do that and stop the ship. Cool. Might bounce a little, but that's okay. I think we are very close to this chunk of ice here. I like it. Okay, looks like we got another endurance running around out there. I would not be surprised to see that on grid here soon. So if someone else starts mining the same field, we may have to jump to another system before the end of the night to keep doing our loop here, which is fine. I think the system next door is also in a state of the ice storm, so that would be fine, honestly. But they dropped back off, so maybe not. Must have been going somewhere else, I guess. Okay, that's not one I have heard of, which is probably why it's so valuable, because you can't get it anywhere else. I actually have a list I wrote down. It might be on there, I just don't remember. Don't see it on there. I'll have to research that. Oh, alright, that one's gone, I guess. Approach this one. That one is a decent ways away, apparently. Alright, back down to business. Yeah, typically if I'm doing just like normal wormhole mining, I'll go after the Nexus if I'm just going for profit. There's a couple other things that I'll mine in there too, but just so I have the resources for different manufacturing things. I try to do some of the industry stuff on the side. It's not anything that I've streamed at all, but maybe one day, once we're better set up for it. Still in the process of like acquiring blueprints and fully researching them and all that kind of stuff. Not even sure what I want my focus to be as far as that goes yet. So, something to think about. I was kind of looking at containers, maybe. I mean, people use them all the time, they buy them all the time. They're not, like, super valuable per unit. At the same time, like, people always kind of need them. And there are no Tech 2 varieties, so an alpha could manufacture and use basically any type of container. That's probably like the most boring thing to manufacture, but it's one of the ways that I'm leaning. Yeah, they're massive. So for the absolute largest ones, it would very much be like a manufacture on site kind of thing. Yeah. I think the biggest thing I can move is station container. And if I set up one of the hauling ships correctly as an alpha, I can get 3 of them packaged on the ship. But that's about as big as I can move, so. Okay. You like deploy it in space as a like a jet can style thing? Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all. Oh yeah, the drones make a huge difference. I wish as an alpha you could actually use the mining drones. Because it would be... I've heard people say that 5 mining drones is basically the equivalent of 1 strip mining laser. So it's basically like having an extra strip mining laser. Which would be absolutely awesome. But yeah, those alpha restrictions, just no go for those. Yeah, you can... If you're Omega, you could definitely do both. So like if you have one of the mining barges, you can still use mining drones in addition. Yeah, I mean, basically. It's interesting. The ore site is no longer on the probe scanner, so I think its collection of ice has been reduced low enough that it's not showing up anymore. Hmm. Yeah, the wormhole rats are really not that bad, honestly. Um, what I'll usually do is go in and like mine a load and drop it off, and then I'll come back in a combat ship and clear out the site, and then I'll go back with the mining ship and just keep going because they only spawn the one time. Yeah, low and null, they're like all the time. It's crazy. So you gotta have strategies for that. But the wormholes are rather peaceful once you clear out the one spawn. Honestly, like I like being in wormholes more than being in known space. Typically, it honestly feels safer to me. Even high sec does not feel as safe as a wormhole because like people can see me on local. A wormhole, if I'm quiet, no one knows I'm there. Alright, so we're gonna have to test something, it seems like. Let me... Where's the next closest rock to this one? This... Okay, I can save the location of this. And we'll put it in there as a 2-day. So when I finish up here, I want to make sure that I can actually get back to this site. I don't know if it'll trigger the entering a mining site thing, but we'll have to try it. Yeah.
The asteroid is depleted.
I mean, that's definitely the way to go. My plan, I have an alt that's training exploration stuff right now. And my plan was, once the account's in Omega, to just have them park in a wormhole with a high sec static. And then when I want to find it, they can scan down the connection and open it up. Just drop whatever off in the whatever station is closest, and then pop back in to kind of like hold my place in the wormhole, and then I can come get whatever with my main. So kind of what you're saying, except I'm just not using the courier service, but same kind of thing. All right, I need to mine this. That's why I targeted it. And of course, that's, you know, I'll obviously keep whatever I decide to use to manufacture stuff, but I'll do like gas mining sometimes, so and that's one thing I don't typically use for anything, so that is something like I'd offload to a high sec station and then transport to wherever. Yeah, I've never had a site despawn while I was in it yet, so that's interesting. When we finish this cycle, we'll obviously warp to the station, and then we'll try warping to that bookmark and see if this is still here, and if it is, if it triggers the enter a mining site thing. And then obviously if not, then we'll have to go to another system to at least trigger that, and then we could try coming back here since it's nice and private at this point, assuming it doesn't despawn while I'm gone. Something to look at, though. I'd be interested to know exactly how all that works. I mean, there's definitely still kind of a lot of ice here, so I'm surprised it's not showing up on the probe scanner anymore. I assume the level of remaining ice is what it's using to determine whether it should show up on the scanner or not. But yeah, we'll see. It's possible I'll go to the station and then warp back to the bookmark, and this won't even be here anymore. But I guess the nice thing about this not being on the scanner is this location feels a lot more secure. Like, obviously I'm in D-scan range of these people running the combat sites and doing some mining, but like, in order for someone to get to this spot, they would literally have to combat scan me down. So I can just watch D-scan for combat scanners, and if I see those, I'll have a pretty good idea that I should be leaving. See where we are as far as the rewards here. Okay, we've literally already gained 45 points just tonight. 5 more and we hit our 25 plex reward. That's awesome. Well, there's our friend from last night, whose ship name I will not read. Actually, Eagle I'm unfamiliar with. What kind of ship is this? Oh, a heavy assault cruiser. So this is a T2. Gotcha. So it's based off the MOA hull. That's pretty cool looking, honestly. Yeah, I like it. And what about the Vulture? Command ship. So this is like a T2 battle cruiser. That's actually the front. Alright, cool. We have the Absolution. I think that's the only other one I don't really know. I knew this was an Amar ship for sure, but dang, that looks cool. And yeah, another T2 battlecruiser. That's nice. When I move into battlecruisers, I'll probably go for the Prophecy. Because, you know, drones. Even though it looks like a giant turkey in space, that's just the path that I have chosen for myself, so that's the plan. But yeah, right now I'm very happy in my Arbitrator, and I don't think I'm going anywhere. Been working on the skills for it, and it's a pretty impressive little ship. It can handle ratting even up into a C2 wormhole, so it does really well. Very surprising, especially, you know, as an alpha, not even having the skills I need totally maxed out. It does good.
The asteroid is depleted.
Of course it is. Approach this guy, get it locked up. We can stop the ship. And we got 3 more units of ice before we have a full hold. At which point we will go turn in a couple loads and then come back out for some more. I think what I might do this run, because I'm thinking this site is going to despawn as soon as I warp off, is after I turn in my 4 loads to the ice processor, I'm going to come back out and get 12 more of the faded volatile ice in the hold. So if this does despawn and I have to find another site, I can mine 7 units. That'll trigger the thing, give me a full load, and it'll just put me ahead in what I'm doing at the next site. I think that makes sense. It's like, well, I have this place to myself. I may as well take advantage of it. Yeah, I've got 1 more unit of ice before we head over to the processor here. I had wondered what happened to the sites when they, like, got low on ice or ran out of ice. Because there's definitely a point at which, like, you wouldn't be able to mine any more ice in the site. Because the ice chunks are not that concentrated. There's not a ton in each one. Alright, so now we approach the processor quick as we can. Well, looks like the friendly Orca booster is done for the night. Or at least heading in, since no one is there to boost. Yes. Okay, that's done. Now let's head back out to the closest ice chunk there is. From here. And get 9 more ice. Let's go ahead and lock that target, turn off the booster, engage the laser, and stop the ship. Set up our escape vector, and we're all set. It seems like there's not a ton of ice left in that direction, just these 4 chunks here. And that's about it. The rest of the way around, nothing. And then there's 5 chunks over here, these 4 and the one I'm currently chewing on. But yeah, just 9 chunks of ice left in this area. Don't know if it would be enough for a whole nother run. But like I said, we've got the bookmark, so it's worth a try. Let's actually pull up our locations. I think I'll get rid of the bookmark, because that rock is actually gone. Speaking of rocks being gone. That one is also gone. Interesting, I can't actually save the location of the ice processor. This fortified elevator thing, I can save that thing's location. So that's what we'll do. Yeah, we can look this way. That's fine. So since I'm planning on mining that extra ice anyway, I might as well just go ahead and fill the hold back up again before I turn in the 2 loads that I have left to turn in. So that means we've got about 12 to go before we head back over to the processor. Yep, not much left on the probe scanner at this point. This site has basically been cleared off. There's no exploration sites and only one combat site left remaining. I don't know about you guys, but to me, a lot of these chunks of ice look like hands and feet of like some giant ice titan or something. Not all of them, of course, but yeah, just kind of how they strike me at times. Like this one kind of looks like a hand trying to grasp something, and this one's like a hand doing a thumbs up, kind of. And then this sort of looks like a boot upside down. Like this would be the foot part, and this is like the calf. Like little spikes coming up off of the top of the foot part. I don't know, just how I'm kind of reading into it, I guess, but there's an endurance out there passing through, looks like. Yeah, it's crazy. I set up the ship with the tractor beam so I could handle belt rats, and haven't had any. I'm sure we will before the night's over. Yeah, it would 100% suck if I don't get a chance to use that before the end of the night.
The asteroid is depleted.
Okay, that one's done. Head into the thumbs up hand. Alright, what is a prowler exactly? Transport ship. Kind of cool, actually. I would assume one of the deep space transports. Seems like most people fly Tech 2 stuff if they can. Excuse me. Yeah, not much call for the Tech 1 stuff, unfortunately. It was kind of sad, because I think a lot of the Tech 1 stuff is a little bit underrated. For instance, like I think it's the Prophecy. Great little drone boat at Tech 1, and then at Tech 2 it loses some of its functionality in that particular way, which sucks, because like if you're wanting to do drones, you want all that functionality. But it seems like if we keep going like this, there might not be any ice left when we're done, so it makes sense that the site would despawn. Basically, there might not be a reason to come back. But, I think even if there's not any ice left, we're still going to try to see if it fulfills the enter an ice mining site thing, or if that's triggered specifically to the acceleration gate. I'd be curious to know. Anyway. Just about 7 more units before we hit up the processor again. Yeah, I was looking to see if there were any faction mining lasers for the for ice mining, and all that I saw was the ore laser. So I don't know if there are any other faction lasers, but as far as what the market had available in my area, not so much. Just the one, apparently. Yeah, I apologize that this part's taken so long. I know I'm kind of taking my time with it. But like I said, while I have this site to myself, I'm just gonna grab as much as I need to grab to put myself ahead on the next run. Just in case this does despawn, I don't have to fight anyone for those resources also. Like, I'll already have some in the next site. Also kind of keep hoping a new one of these will spawn in system, but no luck on that front so far. Plenty of the combat sites, and it looks like maybe a couple of the exploration sites are popping up as well. Interestingly enough, this also has bonuses for ore mining. Yeah, basically a 25% bonus at Mining Frigate 5, which we have thanks to the expert system. The Expedition Frigates actually gives us shield resistances, which is nice. And then a 300% bonus to ore mining yield. So basically a cumulative 325% bonus to ore mining yield. I'm curious how that compares to the Venture. But it has a 100% bonus to mining yield, plus the 25% bonus for training mining frigate all the way up. So And then it has a spot for 2 lasers. So basically means your yield is 225%? Or no, 250%. Because all of those bonuses would apply twice. But that is still lower than 325%. So even though this only has 1 laser, it technically would be a better ore miner. Which is kind of crazy. Now still, if you're going after ore, especially if you're doing like wormholes or null or low or any of that, you probably want to be using a prospect, which can actually fit a covert ops cloaking device instead of just an improved at best, which is what the endurance does. So endurance is really your ice mining frigate, whereas the prospect is more of your covert ops or mining frigate. I can definitely imagine some scenarios in which that would be handy. Alright, 3 more units of ice and we will hit up this processor over here. Alright, 2 more units. There's not much ice left out here, I will say that. That's this chunk, just the 2 in front of me. I can actually hit it with the scanner here and see how much is sitting in front of me right now. It looks like the one we are mining actually only has 1 unit of ice left in it. So let's go ahead and approach this guy. So that we are prepared for the switch.
The asteroid is defeated.
There we go. That helps speed things up a little bit. Okay, someone's looking for those exploration sites. We got the core scanner probes out. Alright, so this one we're locked onto has 7. It'll have 6 when we're done. So there'll actually be 12 units in these 2 chunks right here. Plus whatever's on the other side. I think there were 4 chunks over there. So you could potentially run the quest at least 1 more time, but I think it's a little too tight of a margin, which is why it took it off of the probe scanner list. Because if multiple people were trying to run this, there wouldn't be enough for both people to be mining at the same time and also finish the quest in this one site. Helios. Okay. Got your covert ops ship. That's probably the one trying to scan down the signatures here. Alright, let's head to the ice processor. Almost there. Slow us down just a touch. Okay, that leaves us with 5. We can turn in this quest. And now let's head back out to the closest rock, or closest ice chunk. I'm used to ore mining, so I call them rocks a lot of the times, but this is in fact an ice chunk. And we're going to mine until we have 12 units in the hold. And we'll go to the station, drop off our packages, and come back out to this field with the bookmark. And one, see if the field is still here, and two, if it is, see if it triggers the enter a mining site quest line, which has reactivated over on the side here. Almost there. Got to turn on my afterburner, which is kind of dumb. I'll admit it. Alright, and this one, if I recall, had 6, which will get us to 11. So we will actually need another one. Well, that's far enough away. That's not even worth moving towards it just yet. Looks like that explorer managed to find all of the sites and exploit those, so good for them. Couple combat sites left to be done, but no one seems that interested in those. Anyone else out there just run with their probe scanner on constantly? I pretty much just leave mine open all the time, so I can see everything that's going on in system. Things to explore, different ore sites if they're available. Combat sites, I run combat sites sometimes, so just kind of helps you know what's going on. And I think you kind of miss that sort of stuff if you don't have your probe scanner on screen. All right, this is a Reaper. Interesting. This is a Corvette. This must be the Minotaur Corvette. Wonder what one's doing all the way over here. Interesting. Sounds menacing, but it's just like a rookie ship, so. Honestly, with the drones that I have, I could probably take out them if they tried to attack me. Which would be pretty funny. Oh, and we've earned enough points to get our Plex, so let's click and claim that right now. Alright, and we'll officially get them out of the redeem window once we get to the station. I'm gonna scan again, because I don't think this is where I was before. Okay, this has 7 ice left in it, which will definitely get us to 12 without us moving at all. So yeah, this is not where I was before. Yeah, this kind of looks like a shoulder pauldron. Like this part would sit on the, like the upper arm, and this would stick out like a little bit of spiky, menacing decor. I think you could find enough body parts to assemble a Titan out here somewhere. Just my feelings on the matter. Now let's go ahead and get that targeted so we can jump as soon as we have what we need. And so now we wait. I'm actually curious. I want to check something real quick. Look for probably security agents. Any faction. Okay, that's interesting. The Minotaur faction? No. Unless these aren't alphabetical. Kinda seems like they might be. They are. Okay, I didn't see them in here, but I'm gonna look again. And not so much. Try the mandate. Okay, not Kelzari. Who the heck do the DED belong to, exactly? There's Legion. Or, I think it's just or. It shows, okay, we need to dock because we have the requisite 12.
Active.
Pentus, no. Prevent Sisters, no. Syndicate,
Docking permission requested.
no.
Docking request accepted.
And Thuker Tribe is the last one. So does the DED never have, like, mission agents? That would be my guess. Let's go in the item hanger. And we can immediately undock. Yeah, seeing if they had agents so I could improve standings here and get, like, better refining rates and stuff, but Yeah, they don't seem to show up in the agency. Let's warp to 0 on this large collidable object
Active.
tag. Oh, and a fading volatile site actually appeared again. First of all, let's see if... Okay, it would not take me to the bookmark. It instead brought me to the acceleration gate. So there's that. So let's activate the gate.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, the one that's on this is 4.78 AU away. That's a whole different site. And this site is still here. So it's not on the thing, but it is still very much here. So that's cool. So even if it comes off here, if you have something in here bookmarked, it will bring you to the acceleration gate, which triggers the enter a site thing, and then you can just keep on going. Which is very cool. I don't know how long this sticks around after it's no longer on the probe scanner. Hopefully for a minute or two. But yeah, there you go. We can lock that. We can turn this off. And let's start mining. Alright, so now we only need 7 pieces of ice before we hit our full load, and we can go ahead and turn some in. So having this 12 already mined definitely put us ahead for this cycle, which is good. Took us a little bit longer on that initial cycle, but that's okay. I forgot to claim my plex. Dadgummit. I'll grab them in a little bit. So this only has 3 units. So we will have to move to another one. We can start approaching this one. But we can't go too far from the one that we're already working on. Like right there is probably about as far as I would go. And yeah, we already drifted a little bit too far, so fix that. So yeah, this is pretty cool. We're definitely going to have this whole mining site to ourselves until it's finished or we decide to move on, basically. And we managed to take long enough with it that another one spawned in system. So that'll be great. So I won't even have to leave system to keep ice mining. And I love that. Alright, so while we are messing with that, get our station up. There are a couple chunks over there. I think this is where I was, where we had the 6 and the 6 before. That feels very likely to me. And then this is where I was earlier. It kind of looked like the shoulder pauldron. And then these are the 4 that we had seen earlier. There should be 7. And plus the one we have targeted. Yep. That's all that's left. Pretty crazy. But there you go. Still waiting for those belt rats to show up. Don't know if it's gonna happen. Hopefully it does. I'm all set up for it now.
The asteroid is depleted.
Yep, that's it to be expected. Let's head on over to this guy. And we'll afterburner this because it is a little bit of a trip. So wait until we're in 20 kilometers range, then we can target this. Actually, at 23, I think I can target. At about 10, we'll shut off the afterburner. And at 7, we start the laser and stop. And now that we're over here, let's see what these guys have in them. Okay, 8, 8, and 8 are what I can see. So that's 24 right there, plus the 15 we already have. Is 39. And we need to turn in, what did I say, 28? And then if we wanted to get 12, so we're good to go for next time. That'd be 40, basically. And I said we had, what, 29? Well, no, that's 24. 39. So yeah, there's definitely enough ice out here to do a whole nother run. For sure. Like this whole run. I don't know about one after this, necessarily. But we'll try it. We'll keep coming back to this one as long as there's ice to mine. It's nice and private. Hey, Chaotic, how's it going? I am, in fact, yes. I used the expert system so I can fly an endurance for the next couple days. And just chewing away on this event ice. It's been fun so far. But yeah, I really want to get to the end of that event track because I could use the extra 100 plex that you get from doing the whole thing. What about you? You running any of the event stuff this time around? They show up on the probe scanner, like combat sites. You don't have to scan them down or anything; they're just immediately visible. As long as you're in a system that has an ice storm going on. Otherwise, I don't think they'll spawn in system. And I think they're only spawning in known space right now. I don't think the wormholes are getting any of the ice storms. Yeah, I mean, at least the event documentation said that it was spawning in high, low, and null. So it didn't mention wormholes. So I'm assuming they're not getting any of the ice storms. And of course there are the data sites if you want to try to chase those, and the combat sites if you've got the ship that can run them. And it said something like a T2 battle cruiser or better was their recommendation for running those. Which, yeah, I don't have that. So, not doing so much of the combat sites, but the ice mining and the exploration stuff I can do. Well, ice mining for now, and I guess exploration when the expert system decides it's done. I'm hoping I'll be pretty much done with the event by then. Oh, we are full up. That is why I did that. That makes sense. Okay, let's grab this. Each one of these ice mining cycles nets me like 30 points on that track though, so it's going pretty quick. Okay. What kind of weapon system does it use? Let's access this. Turn in 2 of these. Yep. And let's head back out to the ice here. Rapid heavy. Okay, I'd have to do a little skill training to get set up for it, but I would like to see that actually. My in-game name is the same as my streaming name, so I should be easy to find. Yeah, because my RB uses rapid light, so I have all the secondary skills trained. I just have to train up the heavy missile skills. Alright, we can lock this now. I keep forgetting to turn this on. I wonder I'm going so slow. This one's nice, thank you. Yeah, so if you're looking for the ice mining sites, it's this icon on the probe scanner. And then, funny thing is, this isn't actually the site I'm in. Nice. Let's check this out. Arbalast, familiar with those. Okay, shield tanking, that is something I do. Cap battery. I kind of like it. Ooh, those are spicy missiles. Okay. And Caldari Navy Hornets and Caldari Navy Wasps. Okay, very nice. We are going to drop the asterisk and save this. Perfect. I appreciate it, sir. Yeah, I've always said I've got the most of the Society of Conscious Thought chips already, so I may as well just like go all in and get all of them. kind of interested now. I want to see what the bonuses are on that. Okay, I don't have the shuttle, so I'd have to get one, but... Okay, large hybrid turret, large energy turret, large projectile turret, and then heavy missile, cruise missile, and torpedo. Okay, 50% drone hit point and damage, that's nice. And a bonus to core and combat probe scanner strength. So that last one's not super relevant for combat. But yeah, the other stuff works really well. Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, it's funny. Typically I use thermal as my main damage type for everything, but like this event just makes that silly. So yeah, going with like EM or kinetic or something would be a better option ultimately. Alright, let's close that. Now, I have already managed to get the first 25 plex. They're right here, already secure. So I'll have to claim those when I station up. But yeah, the last 75 are all the way at the end of this event track. Way down here. So I need the requisite 1,350 points to get there, and we're at 475 so far. So yeah, we're just going to keep at it as long as this expert system holds up, and I guess do exploration after that for the rest of them. Not looking forward to competing for the exploration sites, but we'll do what we have to do. So I'd also consider potentially using the 200 plex I already have to get the 14 days of Omega. It's like the bronze pack in the New Eden store. And continuing to ice mine because I've been saving up skill points. I've got almost 100,000 saved up right now, with more coming in every day. And so I'd be able to just dump a bunch into the skills I need to fly this legitimately. So the event ice is technically just like an event thing. You turn it into the ice processor here in the field and get these salvage packages. I think the ones in low sec and null sec are a little bit more valuable, and these just give you like regular salvage and some of the overseers crates that you sell at like DED stations. But the ones I sold this morning from the packages I got in last night's stream, it was actually like 48 million ISK. So really not a bad profit for 3 hours of ice mining in high sec. I think regular ice mining can actually be a lot more profitable than that. But since it's usually not available to alphas, I really haven't looked into it enough to say definitively like yay or nay as far as the profitability there. I know a lot of people do it, so there must be some value in it, or I assume no one would do it. Unless they just thought it was really fun, but like I do. Like mining is something I enjoy. I don't think that many people share that opinion though. Anyway.
The asteroid is depleted.
Alright, I was wondering when that was going to happen. Head to the next closest. Alright, 23k we can target. 10k we can probably turn off the afterburner. 7 we can turn on the laser. And stop the ship. Now, the nice thing is the exploration sites do respawn really fast. So that's good. And if you catch it at the right times of day, in the right areas of space, there's not as much competition for them. But yes, sometimes there's like a lot of competition for them. It's kind of crazy. I was actually in Caldari space the other night and literally had someone steal a site right under, like from right under me. I literally got into the site first and was just slow boating to the data mainframe thing, and he like zips in with a propulsion module and steals it before I can get there. It was kind of wild. So yeah, some people are savage about those. For me, if you're already in the site, it's yours. I'm not gonna mess with that. But that's just me. I know that's not everyone's take on that so much. Would be halfway of 1350. That's 675. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 675 is the halfway point for the event points. We're actually getting decently close. We're almost to 500. Definitely will be before the end of the stream. And the event goes to like January 3rd, I think it was, when I was checking. So there is plenty of time to finish out the event. However, the sales in the new Eden store are the thing I'm worried about having go away. This is the one I'm after. But I need that extra 100 plex. And who knows how long these sales are going to last. Well, like I said, I could go for the bronze. That'll get me 2 weeks of Omega. But the silver gets me a whole month. So. I don't know, one of those things. Now, if I did the bronze, I have 210 plex right now. That would give me, that would take 150 of it, which would leave me with 60. And then if I finished the Winter Nexus event, that would give me another 100 plex, which would give me 160. So I think you can only buy those starter packs once per account. I want to double check, but I think that's the case. So there's some skins and whatever. What I'm interested in is the Omega and the skill points. Okay, so it's not saying you can only get it once, but I thought that was the case, so someone correct me if that's not the case, because I would love to potentially get that a second time. Because like I could get it and then finish earning the 100 plex and then get it again and then basically have my month. It'd be 2 days shy, but it would work. Otherwise I'd have to find a way to like make / buy another.
The asteroid is depleted.
140 plex, and they're kind of expensive right now. I would technically get some from the opportunities thing. I already claimed that, so I would get this, which would be nice. Yeah, we get 5 plex once I go Omega here. But that would be it. So I'd still have to do 135 plex. Just buying it. And like I said, it's a little expensive right now. It's like 6 million something per plex at the moment. So it'd be a little rough on the ISK wallet there. Not undoable, but a little rough. And having recently sold a whole bunch of stockpiled inventory to get the 200 that I already have, yeah, I'm a little bit out of random crap just laying around my base to sell for big ISK. Although I have my whole modules container that I've not emptied out since I started, and it's probably all junk, but there might be a banger in there somewhere. Who knows? Alright, 2 more units and we can go visit the ice processor again. And we've almost got this first of those. There it is. So just one more. At any rate, the goal is to use this as much as I can while I have the expert system to push myself down that track as quickly as possible. So ideally I can get the 100 plex and use 300 to get the better starter package. Just to begin with. And that would be nice. Too bad it's not like the last sale where they're like, you can get 7 days of Omega for 7 plex. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Gladly. It was very, very cheap Omega, for which I was happy. And we are full up, so let's head to the processor with the afterburner on. Of course, we're not close enough. That'll be fancy. There we go. Now, let's head back out to the ice here with the afterburner. Go ahead and turn that in. And I don't know why I closed my cargo. That's silly. And stack this. We want to get up to 12 units just in case this site despawns while we're dropping stuff off at the station. That'll just get me a head start in the next site if I have to go to the next site. Hopefully, I can make it back fast enough that I can just keep coming back to this one until literally all of the ice is gone. And then we'll move on to the next one. There's not much left though, literally just 5 chunks of this ice, and I don't know if any are close besides this one. Okay, yeah, so we got 8, 5, and 11, so that's 16, 24. We're going to take 7 of that, which will leave 17. And then there's 2 other chunks of unknown quantities, but I think it's 6 and 6, if I remember correctly from earlier. So 17 plus 6 is 23, plus another 6 is 29. So we'll literally have 1 more ice than we need, technically, to do the whole thing next time. So we should be able to get 1 more full run out of this site. Our nice little private ice fields. Have to be quick enough to dock up, drop off our stuff, and get back here before it has a chance to despawn. And it may not work again. I'm not sure how the despawn timer works exactly, but we'll give it a go. Alright, and just for the sake of having a thumbnail, let's do this. I'm actually going to screenshot this while we're at it. There we go. Alright, I'm just noting down exactly what time that thumbnail opportunity shows up so I can find it easier when I go to edit this. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, okay. And back to what we were doing. I actually took this screenshot earlier today and accidentally copied something over it before I put it into any kind of image program to save it. Not my proudest moment, let me tell you. But there, I got it into an image program and it's safe now, so. Wasn't sure I would get a similar shot again, but here it is. And a pretty cool shot it is, I believe. Alright, got 3 units of ice left to grab before we head back to the station. And this is just to give me a head start on the next run. Leaves me with room to gather the 7 to trigger the next thing. But like fills up all the other empty space, so this gives us a nice head start on it. I think that's probably smart. Maybe that's just me, but... And I know it's probably the same amount of time either way, no matter how you swing it, but... Especially since I'm not sure if this site will continue to be here after this run. It was last time, doesn't mean it will be this time. If I can grab the ice here instead of having to grab it from the new site, well, that's just a bonus, I think. Then if anyone watching is curious about the fit on this endurance, it's pretty basic. So we have our low friction nozzle joints to get us to sub 4-second align. It's not the fastest get out of town vehicle, but it's better than a lot of things. And if you see people coming on D-scan, you should be pretty good with that, just in case there's a little bit of shield reinforcement, but like the defenses aren't super duper or anything. Got our survey scanner, just because, you know, it's a mining ship and sometimes you want to know how much material is left in what you're mining. Our 1MN YS8 compact afterburner, that's necessary so we can fit some of the other stuff. Obviously we have an ice mining laser 1. Ideally you'd probably want an ice mining laser 2, but I don't have, the expert system doesn't give me the skills for that. So this is what I could fit. And we have 3 ice harvester upgrade 2s, which we do have the skills for, surprisingly, which gives us just over a minute cycle time. It's 69.2 seconds per cycle, so that's actually pretty good, at least it seems to be. Then we have a salvager 1, because as an alpha I can't do salvager 2s, but I don't really need to. And a small tractor beam 1, so if we can counter any belt rats, which I did last night, I haven't tonight now that I'm set up for it, of course. We can pull the wrecks in close from up to 20 kilometers away and loot and salvage them without having to stop mining ice to do so. So that's kind of the idea behind this, just a high-sec ice miner. It's not like the biggest ship that ever was, or probably like the greatest even, but it's pretty good. Having looked at the bonuses, it does look like this is going to mine ore faster than the Venture, so if you can get into one of these, that's a valid option, and you can fit a cloaking device on this as well, not a covert ops, so no warping while cloaked, but it'll fit an improved just fine, and it does get a bonus to that as well. 50% reduction in cloaking device CPU requirement. Cloak reactivation delay and targeting delay reduced to only 5 seconds. And no penalty to ship max velocity when using cloaking devices. So, with the improved, you're able to move at your normal sublight speed, even with the cloak on, which is very cool. But yeah, so, still no warping for in cloak. For that, you would need a prospect, which can actually fit a covert ops cloaking device. So if that's what you're wanting to do, that might be a thing to check out.
The asteroid is depleted.
Okay, that one is gone. Oh crap. We actually have too much ice. We're gonna drop one at the station. Because I wasn't paying attention. So let's dock up.
Warp drive active.
And while we're flying, let's go ahead and split off one. So we have that ready to go. I can't move it into here because it's too big. This is only 200 cubic meters at best, even when it's empty. And this is 1,000 cubic meters volume-wise, so...
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
And I don't want to just eject it, necessarily. Alright, so this will go in the item hangar, and this will go in the item hangar, and we will undock again. And we will warp to our bookmark, which hopefully will take us back to the acceleration gate for that site.
Warp drive.
At least that's how it worked last time. What are you? Thunderchild. Some kind of battleship. Oh, it's an Edencom battleship. Nice. Very cool. And it did. It brought us back to the acceleration gate, so the site is still there, it looks like. Let's activate the gate.
Active.
So you can see now we have room for 7 units, which is what we need to mine in order to trigger the drop-off 4 loads thing. So that's really the only way for us to do that. Closest one is right here, so let's head out to that as quick as we can and go mine our 7 units of ice. Wait until we're within 23 kilometers so we can target this. There we go. Then at 10, we'll turn off our afterburner. 7, we'll turn on our laser and try to stop the ship. Okay, now we set up our escape vectors just so we're ready in case. Shouldn't be a problem, but you never know. And let's go ahead and do our survey scan just to see how much ice is left in this thing. So this one's got 5. And then there's one 15 kilometers away that has 11. Let's actually start approaching that, so we have it in range when we're ready to switch over. Oh, it's close. I have to just goose the throttle there for a second. Nice. Alright, so we're technically in range of both. So we'll lock this one as well. And now we'll set up our escape vectors again. There we go. Once that one's depleted, we can immediately start mining the next one, which will be good. And that thing's job is done, so close it up. Yeah, getting there. Getting there. I think what we'll end up doing at the end of this one, if there's any ice left, we'll mine up whatever we can get. And when we go to dock up, we'll grab the one that we left last time and just add it to our hold. Because I don't think we'll be able to get the full 12 after we've turned in the 28 with what's left in the site here. But we'll see, because we did bring 12 back with us, so... maybe there'll be enough. I'm not really sure. Alright, and where are we sitting on the track here? 495. And we've got, what, 25 left? So that'll put us at 520. So we finish this site and enter another one, and we will have this unlocked. We'll be at the 525 mark. So yeah, we're cruising right along down this rewards track here. Like, we'll definitely unlock the 525 before the end of the stream. Or if we don't, all we'll have to do is enter a site and then we'll have it. Okay, someone's doing some exploring. There, Helios. The ice coffee. The name of their Helios. Gotta love that. Actually curious. There's that. I was waiting for that. Alright, how much is Apraxis? Let's clear that out, because that's interesting information. Okay, 214 million. That's not terrible, honestly. Let's see the location info here. Yep, you're in Losec. Not surprising. What about you? Also Losec. Okay, so really 229 million is more what we're looking at as far as price for that. Which still is not too bad. What we have in our wallet won't quite cover that, but after we turn in the overseer's effects from tonight, that might change, because we actually got a decent amount from that last time around. So I don't know if I'm going to have the ISK for that by the time, like in time to actually use it effectively for the event. It'd be a whole heck of a lot to put together with the skills and the modules for the ship and then the hull itself. Might be a bit of a stretch, but It is a cool fit, and I think I may end up using it at some point, actually. Maybe not too far off either. Okay, so now let's approach the ice processor here. Go ahead and turn in that quest, because we mined our 7 units of ice. And now we need to drop off... Oh, here it is. Loads of ice exchange. I was like, where's the 04? There it is. I cannot believe we have not seen any belt rats this entire time. Like, I'm set up to handle them now and deal with the wrecks and everything. And they're just not even going to show themselves. Rude. Okay, turn that off at 10. And stop right here. That's access. Alright, those are traded. And let's head out the next closest. Is literally way over here. And hit that afterburner so we can get out there quick as we can. Now, if I recall correctly, this one should have 6 and this one should have 6. So yeah, as far as ice in this field, it's getting pretty thin at this point. But that's okay. That's why it's nice and quiet for us. And this guy, we'll go ahead and approach. Just to get that into range. Like I said, I'm reasonably sure it's 6 and 6, but we'll double check. Huzzah, yes, 6 and 6. So that'll give us 12. Plus our 15 is 17. So we'll be able to turn in our two loads that are remaining on our way over to the other asteroids. Other ice chunks, not asteroids. Man, I'm so used to the ore mining, like it's crazy. So that's there. Let's put up our escape vector just in case. Honestly, I don't think anyone's going to bother us while we're in this particular site, but you never know. And yeah, after we turn in the 2 loads, we'll go fill up the hold again. Basically as much as we can carry. I don't think we'll actually be able to fill up the whole thing with what's left on the other side. But I could be wrong. And even if it exceeds 12, we'll just drop off the extra at the station, and then we'll use it to help us speed up the process next time we go ice mining. But like, while I have access to this nice private ice field, I might as well grab as much as I can. Now, technically, I already have battleship piloting skills for the Amar battleships. So if I was going to go ahead and set up a battleship real quick, I might go with an Armageddon. Because that's kind of been an end goal for mine anyway. eventually, but yeah, haven't been busy with other things, so haven't done it quite yet. And like, I don't really want to skip a step either, because like, I still have the prophecy in between my current combat ship and the Armageddon. And I'd like to have a prophecy too, because like, a battleship is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Sometimes you want a battlecruiser instead. So yeah, it's we'll get there, but in due time. Like, I still have to train my heavy drone skills, and without those, the battleship's kind of useless anyway. Well, not completely useless, but not as useful as it could be. Alright, getting there. We're up to 8 units so far. We had 5 when we started, so this chunk only has 3 left, and the next one is only 6. So yeah, like I said, we should be able to knock both of these out before we head back in and turn in the last 2 loads for this mining cycle. Actually, now that I think about it, since the bookmark takes you to the acceleration gate, there's really not a way around the ship restrictions for this site. So a dedicated combat ship cannot enter here. Like, even my Metamorphosis, which is like nowhere near a combat ship, couldn't come into one of the mining sites. That's actually good to know. They're doing what they can to protect the ice miners during the event. I like that. Now, it's just ship restrictions. There's no fitting restrictions as far as I know. So you could do the stupid, like, banana bomber thing and have a small gang of banana bomber gankers come into one of the ice mining sites and just, like, gank someone if you really wanted to. But realistically, I think you probably don't need to do all of that. It seems like it would be a bit silly. At some point, I'll have to try and enter one of the sites with a ship that I know doesn't work, so I can see the actual ship restrictions. It might be interesting to try to set up an Alpha Strike bomber, an Alpha Strike ship that could successfully enter a site like this and actually manage to gank someone in it.
The asteroid is depleted.
Yep, knew that was coming. So here's that next one. This will take us up to 17, which will be great. We'll go turn those in. Well, 14 of them, and then we'll go fill up with whatever is left on the other side. got about 23 minutes left in our stream tonight. So like I say, we probably will be entering the other site. At least entering the other site before the night concludes. Thus, we'll should be hitting that next prize on the reward track there. But we'll see. We'll see how long it takes to finish this site off. And we have quite a few notifications. Okay, let's go ahead and let those close. Just the event points, things, and what have you. I'm really bad about ignoring those for a super long time and then finally coming back to them after a while. Let's look at the daily logins. So if I win Omega, I would be able to redeem this 100,000 skill point thing, which would be a huge boost in skill points. Plus everything else that we've managed to miss. A 50,000 skill point thing also. An Aurora Universalis skin for the Pacifier, which is a ship that I actually can fly. Winter's Pale, Matte, this booster thing, Evermarks, Ice Storm, Filament Crate. Those don't matter so much to me. Anshar Aurora Universalis skin. The 125,000 skill points would be great. Like, how long does this go? There's a 75,000 skill point bonus on day 25 and a 250,000 skill point bonus for if you're Omega. Good night. That's... yeah, this is a nice long event they got going. And good rewards if you're Omega, so... might be worth it to... now, the one thing... we're on day 9. And there were, what, 30 days to this? Oh, 33. Okay. So... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So basically, if I went Omega on day 20 with the bronze pack, we could get all of the Omega reward login rewards, which is 11 days out. So if I haven't completed the reward track within 11 days, suppose I like the 23rd or so, then it could be worth it to go ahead and get the bronze pack with the Plex that I have, so that I can get all of those login bonuses plus all the other Omega rewards that go along with it. And then I could dump a bunch of those skill points into legitimately flying this without an expert system. Because, like, it just... that reward track just gives you so many... especially if you have Omega. Plus, like, the... I'll be saving up the daily points, and then the ones you can get from the new Eden store for free when you're an Omega every Tuesday, I think it is, or Thursday, something like that. So we'd be able to get a couple of those. And then, obviously, the dailies we would keep doing. And we would actually be training the skills too, actively. So yeah, I mean, even 14 days of Omega is better than none. But yeah, if we can manage to do this, and get that extra 100 plex, then we can get the full 30 days, and that will be really nice. Because, like, if I can do all that with 2 weeks of Omega, imagine what we could do with a month. Would be pretty good, I reckon. Seems like there's not as much ice left as I thought. Alright, do 2 of those. Yes. And there's literally just 1 chunk of ice remaining. Alright, so we can go ahead and claim that. And my next thing is entering a mining site. But first we're going to grab this, however much happens to be left of it. And that will literally be this site completely wiped out. So there won't be any reason to even come back here. Even if it's the 11, which I don't think it is, that only gives us 14, so we can completely wipe this site out right now. No, we want to keep that. We do want to lock this. Alright, now we can do that. Start mining it. Stop the ship. Let's actually do the survey scanner and see what we're looking at for quantity here. 9. So that will give us 12. Perfect. That's the perfect amount to go into the next site with. Because it'll let us do our 7. Doesn't get rid of the one we have sitting back at the base, but like this site will be done, so we can actually get rid of our bookmark because we won't need it after this. Let's go ahead and set up that escape vector so we're ready to go with it. And pull it back up to the tips tab on the overview, just in case, but I don't imagine we're going to see anyone popping up while we finish this guy off. So what I will probably actually do, because I don't think we're going to have time to actually do a full cycle once we're done collecting the rest of this. is once this asteroid is gone, we'll warp over to the other ice mining site and just enter it so we can trigger that and get the next reward. Then we'll head back to the station and probably call it a night at that point. Yeah, it's been a good night. We've made some really good progress on this event track. Like I said, that'll get us the extra 5 points and move us up to claiming this. And we would be tantalizingly close to midway. Next time we stream, if we're not already here from just me doing stuff on my own, then we would definitely get there on the next stream, the halfway point. Which is great, because, like, extra skill points is always a good thing. Yeah, this is halfway right there. Yeah, making progress. Making progress. Okay, so like I said, just a few more minutes left in the stream, about 11. If you guys have any questions about the event, how to find the ice sites, if you think want to know if it's worth doing, what kind of rewards you get from it, or really anything, just let me know. I'd be happy to answer any questions you got that I have answers for. And I'll do my best to answer anything, but I'm not promising to have answers for everything, so just bear in mind that my knowledge is not infinite. But hopefully something I know could help. Like I said earlier in the stream, I'm glad that you're here. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're not currently following, definitely make sure you follow so you can find us again next time we stream, which will be this Sunday at 7. That's Eastern Standard Time. And of course, we have our fundraiser going on for Answers in Genesis, so if that's an organization that you would like to support and you have the extra finances to do so, I personally, and I know they also would appreciate any donation that you could send their way. There's a heron out there. If they wanted to find me, they would need combat probes, so I'm good until I see those. Alright, just 4 more units of ice to go before this chunk is depleted, and that will be officially the end of the site. Yeah, because if you look here, I've got this one I have targeted is the last one in the whole site. We're literally finishing this place off. Kind of awesome. I've always liked the idea of just like completely wiping out an area. As far as like completely mining it out and stuff, but rarely have I succeeded at doing that. So yeah, this is exciting for me. Not that there was a ton here to begin with. But yeah, we hit it and we hit it hard, and there was a decent amount here when we started for one ship to try to take out. So to successfully do that, I'm pretty proud of us. Nice little accomplishment. Or I guess an ice little accomplishment. I know, it was bad. I'm sorry. I haven't been exploring, so you guys haven't gotten any of my classic toucan jokes that you get every exploration episode. But we're doing ice, so now you get ice-themed jokes. You're welcome. Alright everyone, welcome to the stream. Just finishing up one of the event ice sites. There's literally 3 units left in this one rock, and this is the last rock in the whole site. Or chunk of ice, not a rock. You know what I mean. And once it's done, we're pretty much done for the night. But don't let that deter you from sticking around. If there's enough people, we'll go ahead and do a raid, so. Obviously, if you're not following and you want to be able to find us again next time we stream, follow button's right there. You can always click on that. And if you didn't hear it before, we are fundraising for Answers in Genesis. It's a Christian organization that basically shows that the scientific evidence that we have and the history that we have actually proves what the Bible is saying rather than disproves. So very cool organization. I've followed them for a super long time, and I know that they would appreciate your support if you have it to give. If financially not so much, totally understandable. It's one of those economies, and pretty much everyone is struggling, but prayers are always appreciated as well. So you can just pray for the organization's success, and honestly that probably does more than money would even. So there you go. Just about 5 minutes. Like I said, we've got 2 units of ice left in this. I think we can do it before the 5-minute mark. Oh, 1 unit of ice. We can definitely do it before the 5-minute mark for sure. Then we'll go enter this other site just to get the last 5 points we need to unlock the next reward track item, and then we'll head back to the station. And I cannot believe we were actually set up to deal with the wrecks from belt rats this time around. Like last night, we seriously got attacked probably 4 or 5 times during the stream by belt rats, and this time, not one. Not one attack. And like, I'm ready for them, but nothing. So that's a little frustrating, but that's okay. That's how it goes sometimes. You make a special effort to like prepare for something, and then it doesn't even happen. And there we go. Let's go ahead and head to the next mine site. Like I said, just to trigger that event, because nothing left here. Yep, clear as clear can be. Yeah, I've been mining in that one for a little bit, using a bookmark to get to it, because if I activate gate, does it show me the ship restrictions? I don't think it does. I think it just sends me in if I qualify. Show info. Well, let's try it. It's not going to take up that much time. Nah, if you don't qualify, it gives you the ship restriction. Then if you do, it just sends you in. So there you go. All right, there's a retriever in here already. He's probably really having at the ice in this place. Yeah, But let's go ahead and dock up because we don't have time to mess with this ice, unfortunately, tonight. But perhaps again soon.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Alright, so let's go ahead and unload these. The item hanger, stack that all. Perfect, so we managed to get 16 of the green salvage packages. That's pretty darn good. And like we said, we managed to unlock this guy, so let's go ahead and claim that. So yeah, we're at 525 points for the event. We need a grand total of 1350 to get to the very end, the grand prize of 75 plex, and we've already gotten the first 25. So it's 100 total if you do the whole thing. Which let's go ahead and claim those while I'm thinking about it. Yep, just those two. Yes, current station, thank you. So I have a skin sequencing. Great, that goes in there. And the Plex immediately went to the Plex Vault, which is awesome. So we're up to 235 now. And we've got some ice already ready to go in here, which is wonderful. We have about a minute. Let's open as many of these salvage crates as we can, just so you can kind of see what all is in them. Unfortunately, there's not a way to mass open these, which I find kind of frustrating. Because you gotta click the little nodes and open another and just go through them one at a time. Which, like, I guess maybe that's exciting. I'd rather just do like a big mass open, and it just gives you a giant list of what you got. And I would be totally fine with that. This one at a time thing and having to click on all the nodes each time is just kind of irritating. But this way, since we're in a DED site anyway, I can go ahead and show you about how much profit you make from the ice mining after about 3-ish hours. And of course, it's rough estimates, like your results may vary, and if you're in low sec or null sec, you're probably pulling a lot more profit out of these sites because your salvage packages are going to be better. At least I'm assuming, since you're taking bigger risks to do what you're doing. Yeah, we got a booster. Nice. Is that a DB5 dose 2? Pyro Lance? Lancia? Okay. It's, I guess maybe like a thermal damage boost. It's hard to say. I mean, that is handy for me. That's the damage type I primarily use, but who even knows? Getting lots of salvage from these, which is nice, of course. Oh. Punisher Chromodynamic Candy Skin. Okay, that's cool. I had no idea that was a possible get from these, so I'm glad we got that. And I think this is the last one. And finish. Cool. So now let's stack all this. And we'll go grab... We're just going to grab the Overseer's stuff. We have 5th tier, 6th tier, 7th tier, and 8th tier. Quite a few of those. We're going to sell them. and it's going to hit the NPC market orders, and that's a total of almost 19 million for those. So not like the best profits out there, but there you go. We got some boosters to add to our booster collection here. We got some salvage to put in our salvage container. And we got the skin, which is not a high estimated value, but I'm going to activate the license because I use Punisher sometimes. And I don't know if these are worth anything or not. Kind of seems like not really. So who knows about those, but there you go. That's ice mining for the event. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. And yeah, we'll be back on Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with another live stream. It's probably going to be Minecraft. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee that. But if you're wanting more EVE Online, that will happen next Wednesday at 7 p.m. So tune in for that. And until I see you all again, bye safe.